what's your reflection after spending the last few days together? What can you tell folks here in the room and also on the webinar, what your reflection is as an LCW steering committee member? Where can we go with this? What are you reflecting on right now?
Thank you. I think LCW does a lot of amazing things, but we're just in this time of these overwhelming crises. We have record drought, record fire, endlessly, the climate crisis, waking up to, having our country built on stolen lives and stolen land. And like, how do we address systemic racism that we even unknowingly perpetuate? These are massive issues. And so it's easy to get overwhelmed by it and feel like you could do nothing and that small doesn't matter. But what LCW does well is brings us to the incredible power, the transformative power of small actions, of small water solutions, of small groups of world changers, of having a really good time while we address really difficult problems, the importance of the levity. And so it's always a reminder for that. And I think we all need that. I spoke with a number of people who this is their first time here, and they talked about how critically important, like Seth mentioning, to get reconnected to our inspiration so then we could up our vision of what is possible with our actions, with the power of community, with the power of unexpected allies. And that's a beautiful thing that LCW does too, is you have people, it's been about bridging difference. People all over the water system, from different parts of the government to the grassroots to businesses. And for a few years, we've been having the conversation of leaning in on equity and making a big leap forward this year with Pedro and Susanna and others. And so that's the thing I'm most excited about in this conversation, like all the beautiful things LCW is always about. And so to show, yes, the power of small solutions, water solutions, and how do we build relationships with people because we're more powerful together. So hopefully that kind of answered your question, but
that was perfect. That was perfect. Bob?
I guess my thinking goes to the significance of all this. So it seems like small actions, nice, but what about the big picture? What about things really adding up? And in fact, these things really do add up. So communities across California and beyond are using water far more efficiently than they have over the last 20 years or so. Northern California, Southern California, Central Valley communities are using water more efficiently, significantly to the point where all of urban Southern California is using about 1 million acre feet less water now than 20 years ago. And the trend is very steady. And how is that happening? It's efficiency strategies, small scale stuff, toilet here, a leak there, a landscape conversion. It's gray water systems, it's municipal reuse, it's rainwater harvesting and stormwater management. These things really do add up, and we've got a long way to go. So I'm looking at the upside on this. Right now, there's a meeting in Scotland dealing with climate change, yet another of the COP meetings, Conference of the Parties, and trying to get into grips with what do we do about greenhouse gas emissions and climate change. Everything we're talking about is, in terms of the localized water strategies, is also a climate solution, not only the adaptation dimension to adapt to a changing climate, but mitigation. We're reducing greenhouse gas emissions through a lot of these strategies, and those numbers really do add up as well. So there are multiple benefits for livable communities, for social equity, for emissions, for reduced energy use, and water benefits. And then the list goes on. Regina, you've got one of the best lists I've seen of these multiple benefits. And if you haven't looked at the work that her group is doing, I'd encourage that, because it's a tangible, specific list of benefits that accrue, and they're different for different places and different situations, but they really do add up. So I'm encouraging, keep an eye on the bigger picture. These many small actions add up to very significant things.
Thanks, Bob. Always love the big, bold vision. Laura, we've heard from you a couple times today, but what's your actual reflection here? Laura's been in this with me since the beginning. So thank you for just still being here. What's your reflection?
I love being here and I'm glad that I could be here again. I want to just echo what was already said and the inspiration. This is an inspiring event. It really helps me, re-energize, meeting new people, hearing about other people's efforts, seeing how we can connect. And I feel like as a, localizing California Waters community, we've been talking about the same stuff over the years in some ways, but it's just deepening. We are being able to articulate the multiplied benefits more. There's more working examples. What a gift to have this lodge, and the other one is this working example of all these things that we're talking about. People can come here and see it and learn from it and see how it works over time. And also, I think we're getting more, we're just understanding what we know, what we don't know, what we need to work on, like with the equity pieces and what communities have we not connected with, making efforts, reaching across, building new relationships. So that is really exciting to me. Yeah, and just being here again and knowing that it's going to keep on going.
It is. If I have anything to do with it. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Bob. Thanks, Trayton.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know we talked about having a little bit more of a dialogue, but I think in the interest of leaving room for others, I'm gonna thank you and bring up our next guest.